What's going on, guys? This is Waning Moonlight, and this was a mistake. This was the worst run I've ever had to do. I've done a lot of challenge runs, bow only, shield only, different kinds of magic, specific weapons, specific spells, but this run is basically nothing in the weapon slot. To go over the rules, so they are all clear. I can have no weapons in my hand. So, like, no swords, bows, axes, shields, nothing. The only source of damage I can get is from anything else. Like, any other damage is fair game. So, what that means I can punch things, which originally this run was gonna not even have that for when fighting enemies, but I ended up needing it for my sanity. A lot of damage is going to come from what we wear. So, armor and rings. Some of you may already know where I'm going with this, but if you don't, let me explain a little bit more. There's an armor set called the Moon Butterfly set, which, when you stand near an enemy, they get poisoned after a period of time. And you can only get it on New Game Plus. So, this run, if you saw, is taking place on New Game Plus, which is great. However, the headset you can't get on New Game Plus, but you can get on New Game Plus Plus for whatever reason. So I get that later when I learned that fact. I just thought there wasn't one. And then I also have two rings, the Ring of Thorns and the Old Sun Ring. Basically, when I take damage, these things backfire and attack back. The Old Sun Ring explodes near me, and the Ring of Thorns does just an AoE around me. The Old Sun Ring does about like 200 damage, just flat, like 2 to 300 ish. But the Ring of Thorns, I notice sometimes like varies in damage. Sometimes it does 10 damage, sometimes it was doing 200. I don't know what made damage be any different. If it's like percentage on what damage I take, I don't really know. And can I do it while not being driven insane? I guess we're gonna have to find out. And to start, made my way to everyone's personal favorite friend, the Dragon Rider. Waited for him to walk over and did the old classic. You know how it goes. And with that, we got our first bit of souls. Because as you see, we have none. And as I said, the butterfly set, well, we're going to be using that, but I hadn't mentioned it needs to be purchased. So that means we need money. So let's go grab it. Now, there's also a shield to this set. I'm not going to be using it, but just thought I would make note of it in case you guys ever want to try using this, which, again, I do not recommend doing this run. It took me several hours, which I will get to why it took that long later. And has anyone ever really thought about how annoying the armor guy is? Like, you gotta buy 1,500 1,500 souls worth of stuff to get him to sell more things. Like, I don't know why, but I thought it was weird. And that cost me, a bit of money, so I could only get these two things off. Then next up is the last giant. And as I had said, punching wasn't originally in the cards for this challenge run. So yeah, I just straight up stood around him. This footage is obviously going to be fast forwarded for everyone's entertainment, so it's not just me sitting there for 7 minutes. That's how long the original bit of this fight was. Other fights don't get faster even when including punching, but it's just that kind of run. Luckily, though, it only took 2 tries for me to actually get him, which is great for me. and it just took a bit of poison and a few explosions to really take him down. He showed an issue that I'll have with giant stomping enemies, but that's a later person's problem. Right now, we're heading into the gutter. And when running around, I kind of rock the Faram armor a good bit, just for the good defense and poise, you know. And in the gutter, we're on our way to the Rotten, because yes, we will be doing the Rotten strategy. It's, a little bit better. If you're unaware, the other two routes, if I were to head for the Iron King, well, I would have to traverse through a poison area, which obviously is pretty resistant, and then I would end up in a fire area, which is no good. If I were to head for the Lost Sinner, don't know if you know, she's pretty fire resistant too. So all in all, I decided to stick with the Rotten, but it did not go well for me. As you saw in that little montage of death, yeah, each run was about 20 minutes, by the way. Can you imagine fighting someone for 20 minutes and then dying? Usually when I do a run of Dark Souls 2, it takes me about 20 minutes to, not 20 minutes, geez. It takes me like maybe 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours to finish a run, challenge run, It took me about an hour to actually bring down the Rotten once. We gotta do this 6 times. Oh, that's great. That's great. But it did get a little bit better once I kind of got the strat and, allowed punching. Because once you know it, then I got him again. The poison was very helpful because I could equip the Seldora set for more souls while he died. And usually the old sun ring would break. But yeah, after beating him twice is when I learned I can New Game Plus the area to get the headpiece, which really pulls the whole fit together. But yeah, then it was back to the grind. I took him down again. And by this point, it wasn't always win, win. It wasn't that easy. At this point, I'd probably been about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. And I'm going to be honest, I was getting a little tired of fighting this guy. Go for, some attempts were quicker than others, but it wasn't that fun. So I needed a little break. And you know what? I took a break. I remembered there was a new Guilty Gear character out today. Well, today as in the time I was playing this. And after about 2 to 3 hours of playing Dark Souls, I needed a break. And I bring this up not just to show off how great at fighting games I totally am, but almost as a reminder. If you guys are ever doing a challenge run or struggling with anything, you don't got to keep bashing your head at it. You can always take a good break. It kind of helps. So, little life lesson, just remember you can take your time and walk away from things. And, that break is really what I needed. Though it wasn't a perfect run, I felt a lot more refreshed when fighting the Rotten. And the next attempt went pretty good. I was able to take him down in only 20 minutes. I know I've been saying 20 to 30 minutes for the other attempts, but those were like 30 to 20. But with him out of the way, I was able to make it to Dranglake Castle, which did not go well for me. Yeah. But after like 10 suicide runs, I was able to make it in. And with that, while we're here, I would like to remind you all to subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to reach 400 subscribers by the end of April, which will be the 1-year anniversary of my channel. I have a few special runs planned for that time, and of course, what would they be if not a good challenge? So if you want to see some nice more runs, be it Dark Souls 2, Elden Ring, or any of the other Soulsborne games, let me know in the comments if you have any run ideas, and I'll probably do them too. And now that we're here at the castle, it's time for the Dragon Rider duo, which was a very nice change in pace. Due to having about 20-minute fights for the last few hours, these guys only took about like 7 minutes, which was pretty good. And this was the first time I was seeing yellow damage from my fist, which is great. And also by this time, I had equipped the Chloranthy ring, which originally I had the Silver Serpent ring on. I don't know if it really made too big of a difference, but it helps. And this was actually so easy. I mean, I just kind of rolled left, rolled right. They were poisoned, and they really didn't do too much. He faded while I wasn't even near him. So that was one down, and then I sent his bro after him not too long afterwards. And now for what I kind of feared, the Looking Glass Knight. With him being able to spawn other NPCs, this was about to be a 1-on-2 and then a 1-on-3 if I could not take them out fast enough. And obviously, I knew I wouldn't be able to take them out too fast because, I would just be punching them to death. I could poison, but I don't know if they can be poisoned. I know the Looking Glass could be. I made sure to Google everything before I did this run. Which, by the way, all the endgame bosses from, like, every boss you've seen in this video could be poisoned. I probably could have assumed that, but I decided just to point it out. And that includes the Rotten, obviously. But anyways, I didn't check for the NPCs. They were. I don't remember if I saw them taking damage. It's a little distracted, getting beaten up by them in the Looking Glass. And yeah, like, it did not go the best for my first attempt. Nor did it for my second attempt. But my third attempt, this went pretty good. It was really easy to get in and poison. So this was kind of the strat. I would just kind of hang in, roll around, maybe punch once or twice, and boom, he's poisoned. Sometimes I would go for some ring damage, but it wasn't really necessary. And then the Shrine of Amana, I kind of just poised through it. Put on the Faram armor, put on the Ring of Giants just so I couldn't get knocked out of going through fog gates, and had the Ring of Steel Protection +2 on. And I made it through. Then the Demon of Song, my first attempt, I did die, and I only point that out because I have to go through this to even go fight him. I don't know if I do actually enjoy this game, but not so much after this. Luckily, he is poisonable, which is great. And I think I can even poison him through the face shielding. I don't know what his exact poison resistance was, but he would get poisoned pretty often, so that's what really matters. A lot of his slam downs was a little bit difficult, but I did like because the fist is pretty fast. I was able to sucker punch him like the second his face opens up, then dodge roll around. So really, this wasn't an issue. But I'm sitting here now while actually watching this. I'm wondering, does punching him with this poison outfit do more poison buildup? I'm not really sure. Now I kind of want to Google it, but it's fine. Velstadt was a bit difficult because I could not punch him from behind. I don't know why I couldn't fist him like that. It just would miss 50% of the time. So I kind of had to hit him from the sides, which means I'm kind of vulnerable to his side swipes, which was really annoying, especially because my kind of groove is walk behind him, punch him. Like, he would always be the boss I would first try because, I just had that move set down. And now it's making me change it up. Like, that was kind of annoying. He was actually the one out of two bosses I actually first tried, which is crazy that I even first tried any boss. But yeah, I got him poisoned in. The punches did like 23 damage, which is 7 more than the poison when he buffed up. It's just, that was so great. So next up is the dragon, and I don't even. This boss just sucked. Didn't take a lot of fist damage and flew around like the entire time. Luckily, he would take poison damage when he was flying away from me, but I still had to build up the poison damage. It was not the most entertaining fight. But at the very least, when he would fall down on me, I would hit him with some thorns. Not really much for the old sun ring, but you know what? Any damage helps. And after like 10 minutes, I was able to bust his heels and take him down. Which meant I could go get the Ashen Mist Heart and then go fight the Giant Lord. I remember his name. And yeah, almost died before I even got to challenge him. Off to a great start. And I mean, you saw the last giant fight. It was more of the same. Just kind of dance around his ankles, nibbling at them. Inject him with some poison, the usual. Which was really annoying, actually. Well, it's not annoying. It took a long time. And when it takes a long time, it's not very fun. And actually, I misspoke when I said Velstadt was one of three. One of two bosses I first tried. I did first try him too. So it was three bosses I did on my first try. The Guardian Dragon was the other one. But either way, the duo at first I knew would be a problem. Because you have to kill them at roughly the same time, which is pretty difficult to do. Unless you're able to do a little something sneaky, like making one of them fall off a ledge, then turning it into a 1v1. I don't know how I got this off. That was pure luck. But in a 1v1, bro could do nothing to me. I mean, I've literally been able to dodge his swings by standing right in front of him. Not dodging, just straight up standing there, and he would just whiff an attack. It was pretty funny. So it took a bit of circle strafing and punching his kneecaps, and a bit of poison. But he went down after like 6 minutes. It was on to Nashandra, which honestly, I did not think I would make it this far after how long things were taking. But things were looking pretty good, you know. You know, except for the fact that I died on my first attempt. Yeah. But, second try's a charm. And if you made it this far in the video, I do want to say thank you for watching it. Overall, this run was a real pain, but a pretty good test of skill. If you want to try it, don't. But if you ever do, let me know. This build was not at all like min-maxed. I'm sure there were rings that would probably have been more effective, or perhaps better armor pieces that affected my punching better. But like I had said, I was not planning originally on allowing punching, so I did what I could. But either way, Nashandra, to get back to it, she was pretty easy to poison. And then luckily her curse clouds were pretty easy to punch out too. The only real problem would probably be that AoE, because that means I would have to get away from her, which would stop the poison buildup. And then obviously, I can't just punch her when she's doing the AoE. So yeah, two big issues with that. But either way, it just took some side strafing and some rolls. Now, is there a reason why she doesn't always summon 4 of the cursed orbs? Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4. I don't know what makes it any different. Is it like if I'm attacking her or if I'm standing somewhere different? I've never really understood that. And another thing, I didn't talk about it till now. I don't know why. Is I don't get the old sun ring. Like it says it goes off when I take damage, but it doesn't go off every time I take damage. And of course, I only talk about that at the end because why not? But it was really weird. Like, I mean, I could get hit once for like something that did like 5 damage and it would go off. But then sometimes I would get hit by like a 3-piece combo and it won't even activate. Like, I get it if I die. It doesn't go off then. But I could like survive and have been hit a lot and it wouldn't go off. I don't know. And I think it exploding took a lot of its durability. During the Rotten, it had broken like almost every attempt. But I don't know. It was pretty good for the build. The Ring of Thorns, like I said earlier, I didn't really get it. But either way, that's enough about talking about the build. Now, you read right. My controller disconnected right there. I freaked out for a minute. I thought I was about to have to do that entire fight all over again. But nah, that's it. Thank you for watching with my random ramblings. I hope you enjoyed. Do like and subscribe, and do have a nice day.